choices. Why are we beginning this series this Sunday with the emphasis of the big effect of tiny choices? Maybe many of us have come to realize already this very important wisdom in our life, that tiny choices is mighty and tiny is transformative. Could I repeat that po? Why tiny choices? Because tiny is mighty and tiny is transformative. And maybe there's some of us po that are listening, you're tuned in right now po, and maybe many of us are saying, there's so many things in the year 2020 that I wish I could have changed. And maybe many of us po can relate to that, but we do agree that we can never change our past anymore. But what we can do is able to change our present and our future with God by seeing the big effects of tiny choices. That when we begin to realize that when we start making one good tiny choice after another, we're going to see our story emerge. One good tiny choice after another, we're going to see God's hand in our stories. One good tiny choice after another, with God's help, we can rewrite our present, our story, and we can change our future. And so with this idea and the probability of 2021 po being tougher than 2020, I think the good thing about it is it's going to allow us to enter into a deeper character change. Now, how many of us are tuned in right now and saying that the year 2020 was really a difficult year, but one of the blessings that I realized is that it had allowed me to change my character. Maybe many of us are saying that the year 2020 was really difficult, but one of the blessings that I got from it, it allowed me to have a deeper perspective of church, a deeper perspective of worship. It allowed me to connect deeper to who God is. It allowed me to understand who He is. And so, as Erwin McManus had already said one time, you can never probably understand God without accepting that change is one of the most significant dynamics that God instigates in the church. And if we begin to look back to 2020, I think that's very true for many of us. Many of us had changed in the year 2020. And I'd like us to look at 2021 now and saying, Lord, allow us to go through deep character change through the year 2021. And if you bring this down to a more personal level, I think we'll notice that when we decide to enter into a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, when we decide to say, Jesus, I will follow you, we begin to adapt new ways of living. We begin to adapt new patterns of thinking. We begin to adapt a new way of life. And in doing so, our character and our lives begin to change. I like so much how when Paul was talking to the church of Corinth in 2 Corinthians 5:17, Paul reminds us, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has gone and the new has come. Now, did you know, Paul, that the Greek word for new creation means metamorphosis? And when you think about metamorphosis for biologists, two images come to our mind. The first is the image of a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. The second is the image of a tadpole becoming a bullfrog. Now, what does this show us po? It shows us two very important things. One, it shows us a radical change. And two po, it shows us an irreversible change. Now, isn't it true, the same is true when we begin to follow Jesus? When a person now begins to say, I will follow Jesus, I will give my life to Him, I will devote my life to Him, we begin to enter into sort of this new creation or metamorphosis, and we begin to see God change us from deep within. And I like so much, for example, when I was listening to Coach Alex in our virtual village in Facebook Live yesterday, one of the things I love so much is when he was saying, adapt the growth mindset. That don't stop growing in 2020. Growth mindset is very important in the year 2021. And I was listening to that, I was saying, I think it is true. Have you ever noticed this, that I think Coach Peace was mentioning also last Sunday or last Wednesday, that it's weird now that somehow the new year always has this effect on us. And all right, this new year, I'm going to change. How? I'm going to start working out. I'm going to start eating healthier. This new year, I'm going to change. I'm going to lose 15 pounds. This new year, I'm going to make more time for that and that. And I do realize that maybe that is that God image inside of us, that intuitively, everybody wants to be better. That intuitively, everybody wants to be the best that they can be. That intuitively, deep inside, we have this God image inside of us that pushes us to be the best that we can be.
All right, thank you for visiting our YouTube channel. Again, if you like the content that we have, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to share this content, we do have discussion questions in the descriptions below. Don't forget, we also have our Sunday services live at pinnaclevillage.org every Sunday. So with that, thank you for joining us.